Take a look at almost any rooftop covered with solar panels and you'll probably notice the same thing. They're blue. Whether they're powering homes, businesses, or even large solar farms, that deep blue color has become one of the most recognizable features of modern renewable energy. But is it simply a design choice, or is there a scientific reason behind it? Interestingly, not all solar panels are blue. Some appear black, and a few even have different shades depending on how they're built. So why did blue become the classic look of solar technology? In this video, we're exploring why solar panels look blue, what determines their color, and whether that color actually affects how much electricity they can produce right here on History of Simple Things. To understand why many solar panels are blue, we first need to understand why anything has color at all. White sunlight is actually made up of many different wavelengths, each corresponding to a different color. When light strikes an object, some wavelengths are absorbed while others are reflected back toward our eyes. The reflected wavelengths determine the color we see. A ripe tomato reflects mostly red light, grass reflects green, and the sky appears blue because Earth's atmosphere scatters shorter blue wavelengths more effectively than longer ones. Solar panels are designed with the opposite goal of most colored objects. Instead of reflecting light, they try to absorb as much of it as possible because absorbed sunlight can be converted into electricity. However, no material is perfect. Even highly efficient solar cells still reflect a small portion of incoming light. The particular wavelengths that escape reflection give many traditional solar panels their distinctive bluish appearance. The heart of nearly every solar panel is silicon, one of the most abundant elements in Earth's crust. Pure silicon naturally has a dark gray appearance, but its optical properties are more complicated than its color alone suggests. Silicon is a semiconductor, meaning it can carry electricity under the right conditions. When sunlight strikes a silicon solar cell, photons transfer energy to electrons inside the material, allowing those electrons to move and generate electric current. Because manufacturers want as much sunlight as possible to enter the silicon, they add special coatings that reduce reflection. These coatings don't eliminate reflected light completely. Instead, they reduce most colors more effectively than others, leaving a portion of blue wavelengths visible to our eyes. The result is the familiar deep blue surface seen on many traditional solar panels. In other words, the blue color isn't painted on. It's an unintended but useful consequence of engineering designed to maximize energy production. One of the biggest reasons solar panels look blue is the anti-reflective coating applied to each solar cell. Without this coating, bare silicon would reflect a surprisingly large amount of sunlight, reducing the panel's efficiency. Engineers solved this problem by applying an extremely thin layer of materials such as silicon nitride. The thickness of this layer is carefully controlled so that reflected light waves interfere with one another and partially cancel out, a phenomenon known as destructive interference. This significantly reduces the amount of light bouncing away from the panel and allows more sunlight to enter the silicon underneath. However, because different wavelengths behave slightly differently, blue light is often reflected more than other colors. That's why the panel appears blue even though it's actually absorbing the vast majority of the sunlight that reaches it. This clever optical trick improves performance while giving solar panels their characteristic appearance. If you've looked at newer homes or premium rooftop installations, you may have noticed that many modern solar panels appear almost completely black. These are usually made using monocrystalline silicon rather than polycrystalline silicon. Monocrystalline cells are manufactured from a single, highly pure crystal of silicon, giving them a more uniform structure. They also use different surface textures and improved anti-reflective coatings that absorb more visible light across a wider range of wavelengths. As a result, very little light is reflected back, making the panels appear darker or even jet black. Polycrystalline panels, on the other hand, are made from multiple silicon crystals fused together. Their crystal boundaries scatter light differently, producing the shimmering blue appearance that became common for decades. While both technologies generate electricity using the same basic principles, monocrystalline panels are generally more efficient and have gradually become the dominant choice for residential installations around the world. A common assumption is that black solar panels must perform much better simply because black objects absorb more light. In reality, the panel's color alone isn't what determines efficiency. What matters most is the quality of the silicon, the manufacturing process, the electrical design, and how effectively the panel converts absorbed photons into electricity. Modern black monocrystalline panels are often more efficient than traditional blue polycrystalline ones, but that's because of their superior crystal structure and improved manufacturing, not merely because they look black. In fact, if engineers discovered a purple, green, or silver appearance that captured even more sunlight, they would likely adopt it regardless of aesthetics. The visible color is simply a byproduct of the optical coatings and materials chosen to maximize performance. As solar technology continues to evolve, future panels may display entirely different colors while producing even greater amounts of clean energy. The next time you see a rooftop covered with blue solar panels, you'll know their color isn't just a design choice. It's the result of physics, material science, and engineering focused on capturing sunlight efficiently. Traditional blue panels get their color from anti-reflective coatings and the way polycrystalline silicon interacts with light, while modern black panels use different crystal structures and manufacturing methods. Blue or black, they all do the same job, turning sunlight into electricity. As solar technology advances, the colors of solar panels may change, but the goal remains the same: harnessing the sun's energy to power our world. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.